Welcome, welcome back to the Culture Crusade. How is everyone? Let's see if we are indeed live and people can hear us. Because I don't know, there was stuttering happening on the intro for me over here, and so I don't know if the internet is working. And it's Australia, so anything could happen. But how are you, Lit Dev?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Ready for the next Culture Crusade.
We have a lot to talk about this week. I'm not sure we'll get to everything because we like to go deep on the Culture Crusade and cover a topic, in depth, because we go. That makes sense. My brain isn't braining. That's one of the problems with doing a live stream in the morning for me because I'm not awake. How are you, Mike? Are you there?
I am here.
Yeah, you're going good.
Better than I deserve.
Better than you deserve. That's a bit rough. We have a main topic that we're going to dive into, which is kind of a breaking story. It's interesting. It just kind of dropped this morning. I'm like, oh, that's worth reviewing and commenting on, and a whole heap of other stuff. But we like to do some preliminary things before we go crazy. We're also live streaming on X. The second live stream on X that we're pushing that out to. Don't know how that goes. I don't know how many viewership we get because it only reports like impressions, essentially how many people kind of see it across this thing, but not like concurrent viewers. So
yeah, it's really weird. It's like the first time I saw that, I was like, wow, I have 150 viewers on. It's like, wait a minute.
It makes you feel a little better than normal, but they're not actually there.
But it's a lie.
Exactly. Because like early in the stream, we've just gone live. It's reporting 160 viewers and going up, and it's
Let's go.
It's not there yet. I mean, on YouTube, we're sitting on 89. Oh, sorry, 98. 98. I'm dyslexic. So I don't know how but anyway, it's good. I get to get further reach. It's always good to be on X. But all right. I think we almost need like a segment of what the world of romantacy. What's happening in romantacy this week, almost, which encapsulates the utter destruction of modern storytelling. Wouldn't I think I could almost push it that far. What do you gentlemen think?
Well, yeah, because as far as I've heard, you don't really need to be a good writer to write them. It's just there's a reason why these sell, and it's not necessarily the classical Shakespearean epic that that you might be looking for.
I mean, honestly, is it any different than from those like old romance novels from the 80s and stuff?
On their own, not really. I mean, I guess they are a little bit different because I think I watched a video with another friend of mine with the person going over it, a woman who goes over this stuff, and it's like hardcore pornography for women. That's kind of what it is, and that is damaging. But the thing is, even if it were all fine, it's taking over the market, so like there's very little choice outside of romantasy these days.
Right.
Like Lit Dev, you hit the nail on the head. This goes further than just romance. This is effectively pornography geared towards the female preferences. And if you think I'm hyperbolic, I highly recommend this video from this channel. This is like one of the top tier videos on the subject.
It's women complaining about it too. So it's not like men going, isn't there for someone who forgot to ask? No, it's women complaining about this stuff.
100%. This lady here, the second story, she did a video. I'm pretty sure it's this one. Yeah. Women's literature does not exist. Well, that's the thumbnail. The title is The Absolute Degeneracy of Modern Writing. This video is one of the best videos I've seen on the subject. And she breaks it down basically. And she full on just calls it out that no, this is porn. This is pornography. This is why it's pornography, and she explains it. And if we have time, I'd love to share some of the video, but we might not have time. But because we've got all these other.
I thought you were going to say I'd love to share some of the pornography. I'm like, whoa, Shad, easy there.
Let me read. I've got an episode for you right here.
One of the things that I found really intriguing about this video is that she is upfront about the fact that, guess what? Men and women are different, and the things that turn on men and women actually, are different as well if you look at it in a broad sense. Yes, there's some convergence, crossover, but generally speaking, women get turned on by having an empathetic kind of connection to the reasons for the sexual relation. And that's why story-based kind of, smut, I guess, women gravitate towards more. There's this like emotional build-up that really gets them off.
That's why I liked all those cheating stories with the main character cheating on her husband and like she's pulled to the ex-boyfriend or the bad boy or some Italian or something like something like that.
Some Italian,
like some Italian guy.
It's always these weird Italians. Is it lit, Dev?
Italian or French? So you're one of those two guys.
Yeah, all the Italian guys just throw it under the bus completely.
Wait, is his name Fabio?
They usually don't have names. I don't think they remember the names at all. It's just kind of like there's Miss Italian man who says, calls her Bella and stuff. But it's like it's always like some European guy or some crazy ex. And the thing is, it's as far as I know, a lot of them kind of end with her like getting caught and getting punished and losing like everything, like her job, her reputation, her friends, everything. Like this is fantasy. Like that wouldn't happen. Like the woman judge is siding against her and in favor of the husband. Yeah, right. But
so their fantasy is victimhood.
Yes, well, pretty much. Like they're just wallowing in their own sins and repercussions.
Well, I've dropped a link to the video, but I encourage people to bookmark it. Don't leave here. There's lots of fun over here. But once you watch this, you can jump over. It's called The Absolute Degeneracy of Modern Writing by the YouTube channel The Second Story. Very smart lady, great video. If we have time, we might even react to some of it because, it's porn, guys. It's female porn.
Yeah, but in the interest of being honest and open, Chapter 1, Morning Glory, The Milking Farm. I'm gonna read you some of this high quality.
Yes. You're actually going to read some of this. Oh no! Now, hang on. People they might not have seen the cover of that, Lit Dev.
I found my tweet with it all there.
Oh, please do. So this week in romantacy, everyone, if you haven't seen it, have a look at what crossed our feeds this week.
Oh my!
It's an actual story. It's called The Morning Glory, The Milking Farm, and it's apparently about like this. What does this person say? Popular with women I know, the age and younger, which is about a millennial in a ton of college debt, who goes to work at a glory hole for minotaurs and falls for the first cow she services. And I heard the synopsis and go like, some people owe Chad an apology.
Thank you, Littef. Thank you.
An apology.
The amount of crap their woke progressive, ideologues try to say about my book because it deals with sexual assault, and then they lie about it because they just don't like me, so they want to lie and discredit it.
Now I'm just thinking that they didn't like your book because it didn't go far enough.
That's what it seems like, Littef. They like the whole.
Your book was too vanilla.
Yeah,
maybe it was the male feminists that were crying about your book.
Yeah, no, but my book condemns sexual assault, and that seems to be the thing they might have a problem with. Because holy crap,
Well, you don't want to be too judgy.
No, no. Like the thing that has triggered most people, right? I dared to show a nuanced view of the victims, right? That there are some victims, right, that still hate him, but had children's, and when I say some, 3 out of hundreds, by the way, because my main character is an evil tyrannical former emperor. He had a harem of women, and so there were children as the result. And some of those women, who, amongst all these hundreds of women that had children, right, some of them loved their children. Shocking! I know, shocking. Shocking thing to, how dare I actually present that there might be a little bit more, differences in the reactions, even in a small minority.
I mean, it happens in real life. There's some people out there like, I was a product of rape. My parents kept me anyway. My mother kept me anyway. I've seen people who say that. I had a speaker at school in middle school who came down, who was a product of, we'll say, non-consensual union. and so she was kept, and she's an adult now, and she's very grateful to be alive and everything. So that is something that does happen occasionally.
It does.
Didn't something like that happen to Harvey Keitel?
I don't know who that is.
He's an actor from
Yeah, it's a Mr. Wolf, the Wolf from Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
He's in a lot of cool, awesome roles.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's my cardinal sin, guys. And because I dared show that some women who had these children actually loved their children, and it was a small minority where a lot of because I dared share that perspective, right? People have lambasted and attacked my book as rape apologist fan fiction. That's what they try and call it, because I did show a nuanced view.
It thought that, but they might have liked it. I mean,
well, right? I get. It seems like in modern fantasy, I didn't go far enough, because holy crap!
Oh, speaking of Harvey Keitel, I think I remember one of his most classic roles, which does connect to this cover. He once played Mr. White. And
That's right.
Mr. White, the same color as the milk from the milking farm. So he kind of connected it. And I know it's white because it's on the cover there. See, they're pouring it out.
Thank you, Linton. So this isn't the only thing this week in romantacy, everyone. We've got another one.
Good.
The Little Platoon shared this. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. So he says the state of publishing in one image. Diabound.
Vampire.
Wonder what this is about. Went from a self-published ebook to a viral sensation and a 7-figure book contract in less than 90 days.
Wow. It kind of feels like all you gotta do is like just copy Twilight, but make it more smutty.
I know. Look at the tagline here. Direwolves, vampires, and sex.
Cut all the romantic crap in there. Like, cut all the other crap in there, the intrigue or whatever. Just give them the werewolves and vampires and sex, oh my.
Yep.
Give them that.
Give them all the bestiality they want, and they're on board with it. Stuff like this is the stuff that makes me question Twilight. It's like
Twilight is like Shakespeare.
It is in comparison, but it could also have been the crack in the door that opened the floodgates.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the thing is, I don't really care what they read. Is the only thing that was an issue was that when the people who are looking into this were like, this is actually damaging to women the same way pornography is damaging to men. That was it. And also the extreme deluge of them that are just. It's like, it's okay, I guess, if they exist, but the idea is that the real issue here is that they're flooding the market to such an extent that there's no room for anything else. Yeah, that was kind of like the big issue.
Are they actually selling enough to push everything out?
Possibly. I actually think their sales might be quite large, because here's the thing. The world is just totally porn-brained at the moment. Both, it seems like people always assume, it's only men consuming heaps of porn. Women's pornography is just as prevalent, it seems, and it is actually a type, the video that I've mentioned, that goes, into this, the absolute degeneracy of modern female writing stuff, right? She actually talks about that, people have taken either surveys or just been questioned that women prefer and get off more to this type of literary smut than the visual stuff that guys usually gravitate towards.
Yeah, we've known that forever, though. That's why those romance novels, everyone always knew those romance novels were just female porn.
I mean, I didn't. They call me naive. It's news to me.
They used to be more.
Why do you think Fabio was on the cover of all of them?
I knew that it was eye candy. I knew that it was.
No, they're porn.
Yeah, it was porn.
I didn't actually realize that women were getting off to this stuff.
I knew that part, but the thing is, what it used to be, the Harlequin romance, is that it had more story to it. It's got it had a more classic arc, and I mean, they're trash, but it was more about the romance, and it was more normal, where she would fall in love with some handsome Italian guy, for example, or handsome billionaire, something like Fabio. But now it's they're sleeping, they're getting gang banged by werewolves. It's very different. They're not the same.
It really is. It's gotten so extreme because, look, that's the nature of pornography, why it rots the brain, because people get desensitized to it. It becomes normal, and then they constantly seek out more extreme stuff. Right?
That specifically was the issue that was pointed out when I watched the other video, where the women who read this stuff will lose themselves in it, and they'll do the same track that men do when they watch visual stuff, which is more. They'll seek out more and more extreme porn, more and more extreme books.
Yep. And this isn't good. Like porn rots the brain. It does bad things, and it's having this effect for women as well. They're seeking out more and more extreme stuff, and it's also. And the thing is, though, right? Not enough people realize that this romantacy stuff is just female pornography, real extreme pornography, basically, right? And it's hidden behind this veneer of it's literature, it's in the literary aisle, it's fantasy. It's like, no, this stuff should be regarded in the same level of disrespect, as the hub. Basically, right? That's effectively what the equivalent here. But people are still thinking that this is literature. These are books. Like, no, we need to shift that mentality.
That's right, dude. You are like 40 years late to this story.
I guess, yeah. Shock horror. I'm a good Christian boy, Mike. I'm not drowned in this, culture of porn, and I didn't realize. I got suspicions, but this video, like I said, really spelt it out, where she explained, like, no, it's actually coded and structured to get women off in the way that women kind of gravitate towards more, and it's just been getting more and more extreme. And I think, because would you gentlemen agree that there is a kind of like a negative, could I say judgment or perspective that is thrown on men who are just like completely porn brained and only I will just watch.
Oh, with the complete porn brain, absolutely. It's like justified.
I agree. I think sometimes shame can be a useful tool.
Bring back shame. Bring back kink shaming and stuff.
Absolutely bring back shame. Oh my goodness.
But the thing is, though, men seem to get shamed for being porn-brained, but these women here...
They get celebrated.
It's
empowerment.
I'm like, no, this is equivalent. I think there should be some shame associated with, like, these women are like, those books they're holding up, that's effectively them, holding up like a porn video thing right there. And they're like, look, we're so empowered.
But the cover doesn't look like it. The cover, I mean, if it was all like Fabio open shirt, man, they might get a little bit like trashy romance. But this one looks like a regular book. That's kind of, I think that was another issue they brought up, was that a lot of these covers were very very bright colors, look kind of like YA novels. But you open it up, it's hardcore pornography, and if they're being like put into YA sections and stuff, and that was another issue going around.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, where's the age restriction on this stuff then? Like, if this is porn, which, yes, it is, right? Don't we have, like, rating systems to prevent children from getting access? I bet 100% there are parents that have no idea.
You want to freaking ban books now?
Restrict, children access from getting access to adult material. Fascist! I know. How dare no joke. There should be like, I guarantee there are parents that going through Walmart and it's like, oh, it's good for reading. And then the child's like, yeah, I heard this one was really good, mummy. It's called It's called Diabound. And the parents are like, yeah, sure, it's a romance, and they would have no idea the type of extreme crap in it.
It sounds like a normal book. Diabound doesn't sound pornographic at all.
Exactly, right?
It sounds kind of cool. Like maybe it's a story about a guy who turns into a werewolf. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah,
some Italian guy.
The fact that this is kind of hidden, right, makes this almost more pernicious and insidious. That's the word I'm looking for. And dangerous for young women who might get exposed to some really extreme, explicit stuff, without them realizing or the parents knowing any. There's no guardrails on this at all. That's a problem. That's a massive friggin' problem. And so what could be done? I don't know. Maybe I'll need I don't know. Well, because this, like, it should be explicit 18 adult content. Like these books should be lumped in with adult erotica bullcrap and keep children away. But that's the state of a modern publishing right now. They've just dived onto the female porn industry, basically, and classic fantasy is just being left on the wayside, and especially male authors, and because the publishers they don't give a crap about male authors. They can just be forgotten. And
are men just not reading anymore? Is that the deal?
It's like a chicken and egg thing, right? Because yes, but it's there's multiple reasons. Because if they're not getting books that are written for them, of course they're going to read less. And because they read less, the publishers think, well, men just read less, so they won't publish more. And then there's not books for men to read, so they read less. Do you see the kind of cycle going on here? But men have the capacity and desire to read if they get something good that they want to read. Absolutely. My sons are heavy readers. They're going through the Stormlight archives now, and my oldest son is 15. He can't put it down. The Stormlight archives, The Way of Kings. Do you know how thick that book is, right? And he can't put it down. So, like, absolutely, young men have the capacity to read if they're just given the opportunity, right? And encouragement, and they have something there.
It turns out young men don't want to read romantacy.
That's really the what's going on here, right? That's really, and there are classics, right? And so I got my sons reading, and I can that's good parent, that you're going to curate and show your children the good stuff, right? That has good moral messages, examples, and everything. And so I've been watching old movies with my kids lately. We recently watched Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. I love that film.
Good one. That's a good one.
I love that film. But Dev, you know what we also watched just like 2 days ago?
What's that one?
Tombstone.
Labyrinth.
Oh, yeah. Dance Magic Dance.
Yeah, mate, I have a newfound appreciation for that because of your video. You are
That's
100%. And no, I was very intentional about getting my daughter and saying, daughter, this movie is about female heroism. You should pay attention to some, and it's a great movie. Classic themes, classic heroism, and they enjoyed it. They all sat down and we watched Labyrinth, enthralled. So you don't need the new stuff. If the new stuff is good, absolutely. I've let them watch K-pop Demon Hunters, and they seem to enjoy that. And I've heard good things from it.
Is it pretty good?
I haven't watched it myself yet, but I've heard enough good reports that I was really like, okay, you're interested, feel free. That's why listening to people you trust, right, is useful. Hearing their views on media these days. Find people you trust, and you can get recommendations and find the good stuff. There's very little good stuff, but there's heaps of good stuff in the past that you can just go back to and enjoy. I started rewatching Lethal Weapon, and
that's good.
That makes me miss the 80s, man. You know what struck me, right? Murtaugh, right?
He's too old for this shit.
He's too old for this stuff. But the thing is, right, I never really saw him as a black character because he's just a good character. He's a really well-written character.
And it rarely even comes up, like him being black. It doesn't really come up.
That to me is a sign that we all we almost overcame racism, where it wasn't even a thing, where a character could be a character, and he was portrayed as hardworking, smart, wholesome family man who was successful and decent, and
he's got like a boat, everything.
Exactly, like good home,
which means he would vote for Trump if it was.
He doesn't let his daughter smoke the marijuanas.
So when he meets Riggs, right? It's like Riggs is not like, oh, I say black or something. He's like, no, he's like, he gives him kind of respect for being like a veteran kind of guy, but they have that edge because he's like, Riggs is like, suicidal because his wife died. So, but it never comes up. He never kind of presses the issue or like asks questions like, "What's it like being black in the police department?" Like none of that stuff comes up. They're just kind of like two guys who kind of are thrown together by circumstance and start taking on the world.
And it's
Because
great.
nobody cared back then.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, gee, we almost overcame racism, people.
Until
And
Obama
I
came
miss that.
president.
Until Obama. I miss that. Where it's like, great characters. Doesn't matter if they're black or white. They're just Lethal Weapon, man. And by the way, the act, like, it's actually a very, very basic story in terms of its plot. But what sells it is the chemistry, 100% between the two, and the acting. Like the scene where Riggs almost commits suicide early on with the gun.
Mhm.
Oh man, like Mel Gibson, he acted the hell out of that. That's like powerful stuff. And then the chemistry, there's a reason why those films were so successful. And it's not actually like the plot is basic enough, you know? It's like, the bad people selling drugs killed a girl because the information might get out. And then they stop the bad guys selling the drugs.
It's one of those classics or like this. You don't even know what the plot's about. It's like a very basic plot, but the interaction between the characters is so like infamous that kind of overshadows everything else. So I keep forgetting what the original Rush Hour is about. But I remember all of the cool moments in that movie, like where Jackie Chan gets into the fight on accident by saying, "What's up, man?" And he gets in trouble.
What's up, man? Well, they don't make movies like that anymore.
And like, what's funny is that it's like Rush Hour is a Chinese guy from China and a black guy, and it's Chris Tucker is like the most racist. Like he's the one. Like, I'm
exactly
world ugly.
Like the amount of like Chinese kind of slurs or just comments about being China. Like, yeah, it's Chris. But we don't live in that world anymore. People are just so hyper ready to be offended at anything. And that's actually that kind of goes into the main topic of the live stream, that there's been some offense given and offense taken, and someone has just left Twitter completely. They're out. They're gone. They've left. And it's in response to some racism from other. But is it racism? We'll talk.
They'll be back.
Maybe it might be a little bit. Maybe it might be a bit of hypocrisy going on here. Also, a bit of snowflake attitude, not being able to just take like stuff. So this is part of it. So Sung Won Cho.
That's a fake name.
That's a very cultural name. I think we can kind of get it directed as
Ting Wong.
Directed as to the cultural background. And by the way, I love Asian people. By the way, like Asian cultures, Japan is starting to dominate, man.
We're the best.
Some of the few remaining bastions of good media you can find in anime. Not all anime, not all anime, but some really good stuff there, right? Okay. So this gentleman, he's a voice actor. That's his background. We'll learn a little bit more about it. But he says, "Hey all, this will be my last tweet on this platform. I will no longer be using Twitter after this." So he's leaving. Okay.
Liar.
Now he said, well, we'll see how long that lasts.
They all come crawling back.
Usually. He says, "If you look at the replies on my latest announcement tweet, you'll see a lot of comments like this." Now, these are the replies. I'm not sure. You might recognize this gentleman up here, Mr. Philip Chan. He's on a bit of a podcast called Project Eggroll, and he is all. And he appears
what a racist!
On Tuesday night's main event, Geeks and Gamers. This is a funny guy. I like Phil. Phil's cool. He's funny. He actually, I remember he reacted to my clip I put on Twitter breaking down the fight scene from The Acolyte, and they were laughing. And by the way, if you haven't guessed from this thumbnail, he is also Asian.
Yeah, you know, ProCD was lacking in like actual racist comments when he had to pick like an Asian guy who said
An
this.
Asian guy
Like the one really racist comment.
is from an Asian, and he says, "Man, people like you makes me think that we should bring back Asian." Oof, that one is spicy, but he's Asian, right?
And
Now, there's
Waddle's like, "Aren't you
background.
a fat dysgenic retard?" He said people should only voice their. That's the main issue here. It's like he was a very strong proponent of. You should only voice act your own race, and then the reason why they got so much backlash is because he announced that he was voicing a fat guy, but it wasn't a Asian fat guy; it was a white fat guy.
What?
Yep.
Terrible.
So there is a big whole helping of hypocrisy going on here, because yes, he advocated, as Mrs. Skittles points out in the chat, he advocated for authentic casting and gets salty when it happens to him, meaning that he hasn't been getting many roles, okay, because they aren't Asian characters. But I thought he was advocating it like you should voice act the culture and the race that you are, and so that's what the backlash was. That's what Mr. Philip Chan was replying to. And he has a video talking about this, which we're going to react to and comment on. So it's interesting that Sung Wong Cho, or ProZD, is not mentioning that. He's not mentioning why people are, I guess, there's a bit of a backlash against him. So if you look at the replies to my latest tweet, you'll see a lot of comments like this. This has been going on for years now. And while the normal procedure has been to block and move on, yes, that is the normal procedure, I truly don't think Twitter is worth it anymore. In the past, I've expressed that I think diversity in casting, so he does mention it here, is important. It's a complicated topic. But at the end of the day, I stand by this. I think it's important for all voice actors to be given an equal opportunity. To me, that, like what he just said, all actors voice actors be given equal opportunity. But if you encourage casting by race, that's not being treated equally. Okay, equal opportunity for me would mean you're judged on the merits of what you can produce, the quality of your voice acting, and if you can actually put on an accent of someone from another culture or present a voice that sounds authentic from another culture that you are not. But if you got the best, performance, you should get that role. That is what I think is proper equal opportunity, but that doesn't seem to be what he's advocating for.
I think one of the things that got him angry in the first place was that he saw a lot of white guys getting Asian roles. He's like, that should be my role. And so suddenly he took this moral stance. That's an interesting moral stance.
Yep, but when it's in reverse, that's a whole different topic.
That's fine then.
And I think there have been positive changes on that front. A lot of bad faith arguers have tried to paint this as me saying things I've never said. I have been reluctant to address this for years because I know a lot of these people, that's a loaded, will not listen to reason no matter what I say. And I have not wanted to add to this ongoing drama. Twitter especially is a cesspool for hatred, and it's been awful these past few years. It's also been wonderful. It's been awful and wonderful.
It's been awful because people can actually speak now without getting
Correct.
Twitter is the lion's den, okay? And I don't know, maybe he's getting dunked on pretty hard now, but I wonder how hard, because I've gone like viral multiple times on Twitter, like trending, and most of it was like people attacking me, like literally my name trending on Twitter, right? Because it's all the AI related stuff. And I'm still here. I survived because I know the internet isn't real. That's basically the thing you have to.
But is that a real place, as Dave Chappelle would say?
Exactly. It's not a real place. It's all fake. Look, I know I'm maybe exaggerating too much because people do, and myself included, make their livelihoods through the internet. But even then, like I log off and I go outside regularly. I garden. I work my
even touch grass from time to time.
Yeah.
I actually,
dude, I'm loving planting and propagating my fruit trees, preparing an orchard, a forest that I'm going to plant on my property. It's one of my favorite hobbies right now. Love it. And I love going out every single day. Every single day I'll go outside and see how my trees are growing and seeing the little progress. And now we're just coming into spring. They're starting to bud, and several of my trees are looking like they're going to be getting a decent amount of fruit. It's a joy, really. Anyway, I'm sure people find that really interesting. So we'll get we'll get back to the okay, especially cesspool hatred that's been in the past few years. But I think it's important for people to know that this has been happening. This is the last time I'll comment on any of this. Goodbye, Twitter. You truly suck ass. And that's
pretty sure not only will he be back, he'll talk about this again in the future.
Yeah. I mean, I do find it interesting when people announce it, right? Now, I'm not saying you can't announce it. I'm not saying there's necessarily anything wrong, but I do think it reveals something where it's like, it's made to get attention. And that's part of why people are on Twitter, to get attention, to be seen by others. And the fact that he is like trying to make this big last kind of comment gives me the impression that he likes the attention and is going to be back for more of it. And that's kind of the beginning of this breaking story, because the other part to this is that Mr. Phil has made a small video commenting on this, and I think it is worthwhile listening and hearing what he has said on the topic. So let me know if you got the audio. This is
the anti-Asian racist we saw earlier.
Yeah. I haven't seen him do his hair like this before. I think that would make it hard to see, but I haven't done it. But
I guess he wanted to be like extra Asian, extra.
This is
Oriental. The word is Oriental.
Is it extra like a extreme version of the Korean hairstyle or something?
Possibly.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Phil, and today I'm going to be making a video, and I don't make these types of videos. I suck at them, so hopefully this video doesn't suck too much, okay? But
I don't think it sucks too much. You guys, the audio is coming through?
Yep.
Good.
We're going to talk about things that I hate. Getting your toe stubbed, I hate that. I hate League players because I suck at them, and they beat me all the time, so I haven't played since 2014, so that's a long time. So if you're better than me, I don't like you.
Oh, I can relate. Like already, Phil is coming through like a man that I can appreciate, because I don't play League, but I've played a lot of Dota 2, and that's a frustrating game. I'll just leave it at that. So I can relate.
Because I'm terrible at playing League of Legends. Thirdly, and most importantly, hypocrites. I hate hypocrites. People who say something and then say another. And whatever, it doesn't really.
Yep, or are guilty of the criticism that they often throw out at other people. I hate hypocrites and liars so much. So we'll see how much.
I just that the whole thing has haunted ProZD ever since. Like it's very, like every single time. It's just like, weren't you a guy that spoke about how only same race people should voice same race characters? Like every time, which is good. I'm glad people remember.
I don't know much about ProZD, but I've seen, like, doesn't he make like small skit videos now and then?
Yeah, they're actually pretty funny, but it turns out that he's an asshole. That's about it.
That's a pity. Hey, we got a super chat. Oh, you got it, Disney?
I was going to say that I heard that from a friend of mine who does conventions that ProZD is he's so arrogant that if fans come up to him before his time has officially started to be greeting people, he'll just ignore you. And it's won't help you. So it's like he's supposed to start up at like 8 o'clock. You're like, nope, you won't talk to me until 8 o'clock. Not doing that. And as soon as his time is up, he's out of there, no matter how long the line is.
I mean, like, I have two minds, right? Because one, I think you should appreciate your fans. Absolutely. Like, they're the reason you can do what you do if you're a success or online or anything like that. It's your fans that, enable it. And so treat them friggin' well. And if you don't, kind of, that bothers me. I do see that side. Like, some people can be very antisocial and get social anxiety. I don't know if ProZD is, but just be upfront and honest about that. If you are, because there are some influencers, right, that just hate their fans. And like when I see that, I'm like, you don't deserve those fans if you don't appreciate them. So I don't know how much Pro ZD falls into that, but if he does, I got a problem. Super chat from Andrew Valdez 8866 says, I'm super excited for Knights of Guinevere, especially with anything Dana making, but Pro ZD sucks. It's just awful. The only reason he's getting any roles is because of diversity.
I mean, he certainly did try to use it to get roles.
He certainly did use it, didn't he? That raises the question. It does, like, when you lean so much into that, it does sometimes make me wonder that, hang on, are you kind of acknowledging that you're having trouble competing on the merits of your work and you're relying on other crutches to try and prop you up artificially? I get those vibes. I really get those vibes when people push that so much, because we see it. We see people who are just not talented in what they do use the whole DEI push to get their slop on the mainstream. I see that like so many writers in Hollywood. They're absolute crap, right? But they got hired based on check boxes, not because of their own talent. And it's resulted in some of the worst media you've seen in, I don't know how long that is.
By the way, as we've seen, it works too, because did we cover that whole thing with that guy who kind of pretended to be trans and gender fluid to get published, and he got published, and he started singing like crappy poems and everything?
Yeah, right.
We covered that here. I know we covered it on my stream, but I wonder
we might have, but yeah, it certainly sounds familiar.
He went viral because he wrote like all this terrible garbage poems. That were just symbols and crap. But because he said, "Oh, I'm a transgender, gender fluid Ethiopian or something," he got published. It awarded.
You remember when CB Cebulski like got published as a Japanese person?
Was his name like a Toriyama or something? It was some super Japanese name, and he did that so that he could give his Japanese writer persona work, because he was editor, I think, right? I think he was editor, and he gave this Japanese writer a bunch of work, and it turns out that writer was him. So he's like funneling money to himself. I guess I respect the hustle, but I mean,
yeah. Well, so Pro ZD, you can't help but see some of those warning signs, like if it's pushed for diversity so much. We'll let Phil continue.
But why are we talking about hypocrisy? Why are we talking about hypocrites here? When we talk about that, we got to talk about Sung Won Cho, also known as Pro ZD. If you guys don't know who he is, he's a prominent voice actor in the voice acting community, voicing many various roles.
So actually, I had seen some of his clips. I didn't know he was a prominent voice actor. Do we know any work that he's been in? Is any popular like animes or something?
I'm not really sure. I know he's been in some, but I can't really tell you like which ones he's been in.
Yeah. Well, Starry Night 17 has a super chat for $10, pointing out that Pro ZD, yet another case of an internet funny man getting too big for his britches. In this case, it's extra unfortunate because he is legitimately funny and a good voice actor. I cannot remember the skits I've seen, but I do remember seeing him in skits, and I remember thinking that they were funny, but I don't remember what they were.
So, you're not gonna like this, Shad. He was in K-pop Demon Hunters.
Was he? Really?
He plays Abs Sasha, bathhouse patron, and social media fan. The prominent character.
A very small role.
The prominent character, Shad, is the social media fan, prominent villain.
Oh, prominent. The question is, were those characters Asian?
I don't know because I haven't seen the movie yet.
I mean, K-pop Demon Hunters, there's a lot of Asian characters in it. I'm thinking it might be a safe kind of assumption. Hey, if that's like he's been pushing that, he wants, Asian characters voiced by Asian people. Starry Night 17 for $5 says he was Senshi in Dungeon Meshi and Abby in K-pop Demon Hunters. Abby, did he play a voice actor woman?
He was Senshi. Also, he's the character Boiled in Sakamoto Days.
There's a certain element to this that I approve of. I think, but it's not really so much in media. I think that sushi should only be made by Japanese people.
If they make better sushi, Mike, I will agree. But if they don't, I don't care. I want.
Well, it brought to mind because I guarantee you, this guy would have no problem. This Chinese man would have no problem playing a Japanese man.
Well, that's interesting. Is he Chinese or Japanese? or
Cho is
Korean?
This guy, he's
or-
Korean.
Actually, that's
What's he need
Korean.
to-
Yeah, Cho is Korean. But I bet you he wouldn't mind. He would have no problem playing a Filipino or even a Hawaiian. He probably
Is
wouldn't
this,
mind playing any
he
other
say-
culture.
This is
What
close
would he be
enough. Yeah,
saying?
close enough.
If that is the case, what would he be kind of implying by that? Is he saying that they all look
They all look
alike?
the same?
I'm not saying that.
Ah, you
But
know,
is that
close
what he's
enough.
saying?
But he's voice acting for anime, right? Japanese
Yeah,
anime.
Japanese characters, I assume.
Get him out of here.
Ah.
Japanese only.
Oh
I
man,
mean-
he also played some guy named Morris in Cape Crusader, Batman Cape Crusader.
Wait, what? But the rabbit hole keeps going because as soon as you go down this logic of no, you need to be the same as the character that you're voicing. Well, it's like, all right, they might be Asian, but do they have the same? Are you skinny like them? Are you gay like them? Are they straight or are you fat? And you know that Phil actually kind
Yeah,
of brings
does
that up.
India count as Asia? Does Russia count as Asia?
You know, do you
There's
come from
mayonnaise and
do you come
Turkey
from
counts as
the
Asia, right?
do you come from the correct town and region as the character? Because there are differences in regional dialect. Man, you can really see that in Australia. If you want to hear one of the weirdest Australian accents, go to a little area in South Australia called Port Pirie, and that, like regional variants in accents exist. What about that? Proper representation, you know?
That's right. That's right. No one from London should play someone from Manchester.
Exactly. I just hold them to their own standard, right?
From some in One Piece. He also voiced Ratataskar in God of War Ragnarok.
Oh, okay. So Phil actually mentioned some of the work that is done, and Starry Night is also helping us out because they say Starry Night 17 $5. He was sushi. Yes, we got that one, and then they add Abby in Saja Boy, who is all Abby and no personality. I haven't seen that one, and I'm probably mispronouncing it. But
I found the name
thank
CB
you for
supposed to use. It's Akira Yoshida. So there's like a mysterious writer named Akira Yoshida on the payroll, and he was like, "Oh, that's actually CB Cebulski." So, this guy, culture appropriation, isn't it?
I mean, you know, it's not an uncommon practice for authors to use pseudonyms, writer names. Robert Jordan, that's not the real name of Robert Jordan, author of Wheel of Time. Robin Hobb, who wrote Assassin's Apprentice, I believe. That's not her real name, right? And so many people go by. So, is it wrong to like pick a name that sounds distinctly
Jim Rigney.
of
But
a
like
certain
Robert Jordan's real
culture?
name is
But look,
Jim Rigney.
CB Cebulski of all people, like a very rotund, neckbeardish white man, picking Akira Yoshida as his pen name is hilarious. Especially he works at Marvel, where it's not supposed to be against the rules. Like, are you not supposed to do that? Because culture appropriation. Not supposed to do that, right?
I don't know what the rules are these days. I just like, hey, if you're allowed to pick a writer name, or why aren't you allowed to have it sound like any?
My favorite one though was that one where like it's like this one author she won this romance contest, and they called the female author's name by her female name, and 3 Spanish men walk up because the 3 Spanish men wrote the book and they used a female pen name to sell it.
I love it.
It was pretty good.
Because that's something that authors do in terms of having a name that sounds like another, you know, culture. That's I haven't seen much, but having a name that sounds like the different gender, yes, that is done. So the perfect example is Robin Hobb. Okay, she picked that name because it was a bit ambiguous as to the gender, and people could assume that it was just a male author because there was an assumption, and I believe this is like, you know, just what they've said on the matter is that writing fantasy that of a style that is more male kind of consumed, they felt that they would get more readership by having a name that could be interpreted as a male author name. You know, this has been done before. Marty,
you know there's another interesting one is J.K. Rowling has a pen name for mystery novels, and the pen name is Robert Galbraith.
That sounds like a man's name.
Very, very manly sounding name.
That's an interesting thing coming from J.K. Rowling, who's so anti-trans, and she's anti-people,
She's
identifying or
trans opposite.
presenting as different gender. Like that's a little interesting, like because there's a bit of a philosophical connection or similarity with presenting a different gendered name and letting people assume. I'm just saying. Marty for Life for $4.99 says their morality always happens to help them out personally. Yes, just like Jinx just saying Mystique should be trans and then told her agent to contact Marvel. Yeah, I saw that tweet. I even have a bookmark. We might bring it up. Yeah, there seems like the DEI is always advocated by the people whom it will benefit, but actually, no, I gotta pull myself back a little bit because there's a lot of self-hating white people in the world that love to like put themselves on this sacrificial altar to present how virtuous they are by saying, I will advocate against my interests and well, I'm terrible, and they say that they're racist and all this stuff, and it's often
whiteness or whatever they say.
Yeah, it's often entitled rich white women that are doing it a lot, pushing this nonsense. And Wolfsbane for $5 says, if you want to hear one of CRUSADE's worst voice acting jobs, look up Huang in Soul Calibur 6. It's so bad that a lot of people dropped him as a main.
Wow.
Ooh.
It is also here a funny rumor that when he would audition for roles and he would send in like a headshot, he would get nerdy roles because he's like a very pudgy Asian nerd. But maybe sending just his voice, he would get like masculine lead roles because he has a very masculine sounding voice. So he started just doing like sound. It's this voice audition.
That's funny. That is funny. People, do sometimes judge a book by its cover. There's typecasting that happens. But we shall continue.
And why are we talking about that? Well, if we're talking about Sun Wang Cho, we gotta dial the clock back by 2 years. Western voice actor Sun Wang Cho CRUSADE, unhappy reaping what he sowed, complains that industry is now segregating roles by race. So,
interesting that.
That is actually pretty hilarious. I wonder if he's getting sent like a lot of like fat.
I mean, that's what they've been advocating for, segregating roles by race. Just
Asian characters.
Let's go back.
A lot of like fat. So that is actually pretty hilarious. I wonder if he's getting sent like a lot of like fat Asian characters.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, if you're only allowed to voice act people that you look like.
And by the way, the role that he got that caused all this recent controversy was a fat guy. So
I mean, doesn't it look more like a Snorlax than whatever that thing is?
I don't know.
Like I'm dying. I'm freaking dying, man. Hey, fat Asian characters are probably few and far between, right? Because a lot of people don't draw fat, ugly Asian characters. They don't draw people to look like me, who's ugly. They don't draw people who look like him, that he's fat and ugly and small.
I love how he kind of counts that.
Mercy.
Like, I'm ugly, so I can call him ugly. But I do that too.
Him who's fat and ugly. That's pretty good. That's ruthless. Absolutely ruthless.
It's ruthless, but Phil's a funny guy. Like he puts on some of the like best Asian accent stuff, and he leans into it heavily because he can get away with it being Asian. And so I can only make fun of white people because I'm white. But I used to make fun of Irish people. Like, did you guys have that Irish jokes? Was that a cultural thing? Irish
I don't
jokes.
remember Irish jokes.
Irish jokes used
because
to be
they're
very
drunks.
No, because the gag were Irish people are stupid. That was the gag. And so
in
Irish
America, the Irish jokes are always about them being drunks.
Polish
people.
We love the Irish in America. Actually, we love them a lot.
Yeah. Well,
I was curious.
I have strong Irish heritage.
That's what I thought. I was wondering about Australia. Is it predominantly like Irish and Scots?
Oh, no, more predominantly like English. But look, it's a mix. Like I have English, Irish, Scottish, and Welsh. The whitest people on the planet.
I was assuming you could make Irish jokes, Shad, because of your ginger background.
Well, where do you think this comes from? The Brookses. So even though like on my mum's side we've got McDougal and Scottish and it just fans out, but if you go directly along the Brooks line, my line of Brookses migrated from Ireland. Okay, and so if you go back 3 generations.
Wait, are you saying migrated or migrated?
No, like a legal immigration. But it's a whole mix. And so Edwards on my mum's side, and Brooks and the Edwards, English, of course. But so like I've got strong Irish heritage, and we had like as kids, there were so many jokes about Irish people. Like, how do you confuse an Irishman? Put him in a round room and tell him to sit in the corner. How do you confuse an Irishman? Get a line of shovels and tell him to take his pick. And like whatever those jokes
those are
come up
jokes.
They were all Irish jokes for me growing up. and then, like those jokes where it's like an Australian man, an Englishman, an Irishman walk into a thing and something happens, and the dumb one was always the Irish people, right? And like, so here's a classic example of the Irish kind of setup joke where 3 men, an Australian, an Englishman, and an Irishman find a magic slide, and they discover a genie says, when you go down this slide, anything that you say, you will fall into at the bottom. And so the Englishman goes, okay, money, and he goes down the slide and he falls into a pile of money. The Aussie says, beautiful naked women, and he goes down the slide and falls into a pile of beautiful naked women. And so the Irishman, he goes down the slide and goes, whee! You get it? Do you get the joke? Do you get it, everyone? He falls into... Yeah, okay.
Look, if I was in 2nd grade, I might have laughed.
Exactly. These were like high-tier jokes when you were a kid. There's a lack of appreciation for it. Look at these haters right here. Okay. So, like, Irish humor was quite strong. I won't go into the Aboriginal jokes that were shared around a lot.
Let's go.
I think those might get you arrested.
Yeah, we are not in the correct climate to share all the Aboriginal jokes that were also shared by the way, Aborigines also laughed at these jokes and shared them as well. But we are not in the correct cultural climate to share those. But old Phil here, he can get away with the Asian jokes, and he leans into it, and a lot of them are funny, man.
Eyes, but hey, you got to do what you got to do, right? So he's been complaining. He said at the beginning, his thoughts, Cho recalled, I got an audition for a prominent cartoon where I was sent just the Asian characters. Looking through the rest, I told my agent, hey, I'm happy to read for this, but can I read for some of the others? Which too, I was told all those characters are drawn as white, so no.
You get what you deserve. Like, that's the result of this DEI, cultural, appropriation bullcrap and stuff.
There were quite a few quote tweets of his tweets with that exact scene from Joker. You get what you deserve.
You get what you deserve.
I've been complaining about there's too many people being mean to me on Twitter. Well, you get what you deserve.
I'm glad that some people in chat appreciate that joke. Thank you, Mick Junker6. He's a man of culture right there. So what an Irish man's favorite drink in the morning? A gallon of whiskey. So that's the type of stuff you got in the US. The Irish people are always drunk, hey? Alrighty.
Man, this is what happens when woke Hollywood and wokeness inundates with every single thing, right? You gotta be politically correct. Yeah. If you're Apu from Simpsons or Cleveland Brown from Family Guy, you can't be, voicing those characters if you're not black.
Did you see that like the actor who did Apu kind of just, make a what it was basically an apology.
Everyone in the back. Like he was like, he already made his money, right? So he's not going to give that money away or anything. So he's like, oh, you know what? I'm out. I want to quit this role. Goodbye, everyone. Basically, what he did was kind of pull up the ladder behind him. Yes, because now he's just like, no one can do the same thing I did and voice a character not of my race and get famous and rich.
It's sad when they do that. Yeah, they became successful of those roles, and then they're like, oh, it's terrible, and no one should do it now. Hey, David Peterson, 1975 for $2 says, Shad, every joke you told was generic ethic joke. I don't care. And look, because chat is what's the smallest book in the world? The Irish Book of General Knowledge. See, I love that stuff. I can say it because I'm Irish, right? How can you tell if you found an Irishman? They are stumbling when they try to walk. See, we didn't get those ones. I like the ones that Irish people have done more because I relate to them because I'm retarded. We shall continue.
Or Indian, so that's crazy. And those people have been voicing those characters for over almost 2 decades. Some over 3 decades now. This is crazy. To add extra insult to injury, the character I got sent was labeled Middle Eastern, Southeast, or Southeast Asian. That is freaking hilarious. Look, if you want to cast me.
Oh, hang on, right? He's saying it's so insulting that they had marked Middle Eastern, Southeast Asian and stuff, but he's still
all the
probably
same.
read for those roles and would be happy to receive those roles, right? Oh my gosh.
As a Pooh or any Indian character, I would totally be ready to do it. I'll be so happy. I will not complain about anything because I think that voice acting is actually pretty cool. I think it could be a very fun job to work in. So, if you want,
get Phil into voice acting.
I would totally do it.
I will support you, Phil. Do it.
But that's because they're all the same, right? Continue the English voice actor in host of Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. You can just lump them onto one. My agent told me this is just how some major studios are doing things now. So this is
because your voice.
But like, where is
the
he
voice
going with this? Because doesn't he want to go back to the thing where all the roles are just lumped into one group and the best voice gets the role, right?
At this, when he says this, I kind of feel like he just wants specifically Korean roles. He wants them all differentiated because I should only get Korean roles because how dare you say, oh, Middle Eastern, South, East Asian, they're all the same, right?
That's what it's coming off like. He's trying to say it's offensive that these generic, or should I say broad kind of brushes Asian cultures are being lumped into this one bag, right? And that's problematic. And so what is he then saying that he prefers, okay, so you'd only be given the Korean roles then, and I don't have a chance to get any of the other Asian, coded roles, right? I smell hypocrisy.
Right, not Ho's mad, but Cho's mad. So he's very, very upset. So attempting to head off his critics, Cho then argued naysayers will go, oh, don't you want authentic casting? But if your entire main cast is all white and all you have is one token side character who can apparently just be any type of Asian ever, that this is not a level playing field. I think this is perfectly a level playing field, is because ultimately it's up to whoever's casting you. Who cares, man?
Yes. And why I get so confused when people get surprised that a movie or TV show comes out that has a predominantly white cast when it's based in a Western white nation with predominantly white, population. You're not surprised when most of the characters are Chinese in a Chinese film. Why are you surprised if it's the case that most of the characters are white in American, UK, especially European history, right? Yeah, you'd kind of think most of the characters would be white in a period piece medieval set something. Okay. That shouldn't surprise people, but they seem to get it's problematic. There's only one token role here and there. It's like, where are your crocodile tears with the Asian cinema then? Just double standards all around, and that's what's been forcing period pieces.
Every part of that's stupid. Every part of this argument is stupid. Your voice actors.
Yes,
you could play this. You could play literally any role as long as you sound like the character. In fact, sometimes you don't even have to sound like the character. Just have a cool sounding voice, depending on the role. Like, oh, this guy's the hero. Well, he's going to have a big, strong voice. Or if he's like a rogue, maybe he sounds like a snake. A little more like devious. So, it's not really about the race of the character all the time. Unless it's that's what the joke. He's supposed to be a stereotypical Indian or Mexican or something like that. Then Speedy Gonzalez or something. Then okay. But every other time, it's like, okay, what's his role? What is his purpose as a character? That's what you have to roll. That's what you have to voice, not the race. So having this stuck on race alone is just insane.
Yeah,
and just absolutely ridiculous. He's just kind of pulling up the ladder behind him as he goes along.
Yeah, and it creates that self-defeating feedback loop where it's like, okay, well, it doesn't work out for you when the characters are predominantly white, not Asian. Oh, where's your roles now? So now he has a problem with it, of course.
But maybe he's gotten so big where he's like, I don't want to play an Indian man. Why can't I just play the cool guy? Right? Turning to different production, the voice actor further noted this is not new. For another show recently with a large cast of characters, I was only sent on audition the sides of the characters who exclusively speaks Mandarin. I think that's totally fine. Who cares? What, are you too good for Mandarin now? Do you want to
He's
play
not
the white
Chinese.
dude? The white-
Yeah, he's Korean.
Is that confirmed? I don't know. I can't tell. Just saying, I can't tell.
I think it was confirmed in one of his videos. He mentions going to Korea.
Possibly. Well, because Mike did point out that Cho is a Korean last name. I
Yeah.
don't know that.
Also, when you're that fat, all of your features kind of just
He's got the features of a Korean fat man.
I mean, there is a side of this that he could be grateful that he's getting any role offers at all, but they're not good enough. Not good enough.
White dudes have better prominent voice. Oh, I don't want to be a side character. Who cares, man? But the thing is, some people have a big ego, like this guy who's very, very big himself. So let's go down. Let's see what the hypocrisy is. Unfortunately for Cho, while he may finally be seeing the obvious downsides to making every single topic discussion in his life about race.
Yes, like it's baffling to me that the people who advocated this didn't see the how this could affect them negatively, because in the moment they had the power and it was benefiting them. Okay, but when it's not, how could? And it's because they're not even looking ahead. It seems like a lot of these activist types don't think about the true consequences and the broader implications of what they advocate for.
As noted above, he was not an unwilling participant in the industry's adoption of the current casting philosophy. Asked during the May 2nd appearance on the film critic Corey Coleman's Double Toasted Interviews, that's a mouthful, podcast, if he felt like more opportunities would be open if you were, a white male, the Korean voice actor affirmed, I definitely would have more opportunities if I were white, for sure. There's no doubt that about that, but I think there have been changes in a positive way. So this is a little bit of the wokeness seeping in, right?
Yeah.
And did you notice how he's complaining about being a side character? Remember that thing I told you about earlier where he sends in his picture and he gets a side character because of he's getting a side character because of his picture, because he's a pudgy looking guy. Like he look like his face is side character. He's not a hero face. Right, that's probably the reason, and it's not because everyone's racist. It's probably because they look at his face and go, "Oh, that's the nerdy best friend." Yeah,
and I can't help but notice a kind of obvious reality to how these people like CRUSADE and the activists act like, where they complain that too many white people are getting Asian roles. I should those roles should go to Asian people. But when there isn't enough Asian roles to be had, they say it's just racist that Asians aren't given. Asians are being typecast, and they're only being cast in Asian roles. And it's like, so what you're ultimately saying by that is that you just want less jobs to go to white people. That's effectively what you're saying. That's the end kind of result, where so much of this diversity, equity, inclusion stuff, you can summarize it by saying, it's just about having less white men in any type of job position, power, or anything like that. That's effectively what it boils down to. That's their form of diversity. You see a whole writer's room filled with only females, and they say it's a really diverse writer's room. And it's like, that's not diverse. That seems very mono kind of, representation.
Remember the Duvernay test? Remember that one? Where it's like, that the diversity of the film, it's supposed to be like the Bechdel test was a Duvernay test, and it was a website a long time ago where they rate all the top rated diverse movies. Were like, oh, they're all Asians or something, or they're all black, or they're all women.
Like Black Panther was touted as the most diverse cast, and it's like
literally diverse means no white people. That's what it means.
That's what it boils down to. That's what this activist DEI nonsense really is, and you can see even with what this guy is saying, that's what it's boiling down to. I noticed you're sharing something, Mike. Is there something you want to share?
Well, I found the perfect role for him.
Oh. Really? Is this the perfect role, Mike?
I mean,
why'd you just post a picture of CRUSADE? Play himself.
is this the Office meme where you see the two pictures and just like
They're the same picture.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Oh, it's actually pretty good that I'm not being cast. This is him, what he said back in the day, and now he's saying this, a couple of years ago. And not just for, Asians, but for all different races, different genders. There have been steps.
Except white people, of course. That's what it's kind of going down to.
And has been improving. I mean, even comparing now to like
straight white men. That's probably the stronger summary of it.
Like, let's say 10 or 5 years ago, it's definitely changed. Like, I think studios are much more aware. Hey, we should, cast authentically, Cho then opined to his host. So there have been some good steps, but we still have a long way to go. And I'm just hoping that as time goes on, more and more doors will open to, diverse talent. So what he basically is saying is that he wants more things to be catered towards him.
Yep.
Fat and Asian with small eyes, okay? Fat and Asian and small eyes. How about we just have a person that's bad at driving? Or a character that's bad at
I told you he leans into it.
Well, how come he was able to? How come he was allowed to play Senshi from Dungeon Meshi? That guy's a dwarf and smart.
Oh, well, and here, like, people say, like, the stereotype of Asians being bad drivers is like a racist stereotype, and I'm not saying it's true across the board. But what I am saying is, have any of these people traveled on roads in Asian countries? Because when you do,
Oh yeah,
suddenly,
dude, being in a cab in Tokyo is like being in a Mario Kart.
you suddenly realize where the stereotype comes from. I went to the Philippines and took a taxi to a hotel, and I thought I was going to die. I'm not kidding. Driving into oncoming traffic, and holy crap, they don't have gutters. They have trenches that are caused by the rain runoff, and so you have like these big, like eroded gapes on each side of the road. Sometimes filled with trash, sometimes just like this huge trench thing that if a car goes off the side, they get a derail and lose a wheel, right? And then it's weaving through oncoming traffic, and I'm sitting in the back like holy crap. Holy crap. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but you didn't die. That means they're great drivers.
Oh, all right.
Well, if you get there alive, you got to give him a tip.
Yeah.
I am not saying that racial stereotypes are applied to everyone of that culture or race or whatever. But I am saying that sometimes they come from
however, there is usually a basis for.
Yeah, there might be a basis where these things come from. And I say that as an Aussie. I say that as an Aussie, right? And I know the stereotypes about Aussies, and I can say as an Aussie, most of them are true. Australians, we're just we're basically the British rednecks. That one's accurate. Although it's becoming less accurate nowadays. But the fact that we're all prisoners in a prison colony, that one is becoming more real.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering if it was predominantly like Irish and Scottish and Welsh, because like wouldn't the English just get rid of people they don't like and send them down to Australia?
Oh, well, a lot of the criminals were English that they sent over.
But I know.
But a lot of the immigrants, it's a mix. It's a mix. Basically from British area isles, right? That's where a lot of the first, immigrants kind of. Well, the thing is, though, right? These are many generations back. Like, I'm not an immigrant. I was born in this country, and I have ancestors several generations back born in this country. I'm a native Australian. That's what I am. Okay. And so because there's this thing, like there is a growing anti-immigration sentiment going in the world. And one of the pushbacks that the stupid kind of narrative say, oh, but you're all immigrants. And it's like, I'm not an immigrant. I was freaking born here. Right. This is my country. But that's what they try and say.
One guy was like, no, they're not immigrants in America. They were settlers. Very different.
Yeah.
Very different.
Yeah, and by the way, a lot of Australians were settlers as well. Not all of them were just, came over, right? And out of any country that was ready to be settled, Australia, like people say, Indigenous inhabitants, the Indigenous inhabitants, they were using like a fraction of this land, a fraction. and to
Aren't
say that
you
they
guys
claim
still
over
using
everything.
a fraction of that land? You have
Yes,
like,
we
the population of
are.
California.
Like the
You're like
population.
the size of America, and you have the population of California.
Yeah, population of New York, no less. The entire Australian population is less than New York City, and our land sizes is. But look, most of it's desert and then uninhabitable. You probably could inhabit it, right? We stick to the coastlines.
You
That's
could
why I like
film. You
Victoria.
could probably film some Mars landing there.
Yeah, Victoria is probably what close-ish to the size of Texas. Probably bigger. I don't know. I need to look that up. But Victoria is like green across the board. I hate the government, but this is the most beautiful state in Australia, hands down. So we have, but even if you're trying to, discount the desert regions, right? We have so much land here to population size, but that's why people say, oh, we can just bring in countless numbers of immigrants. And it's like, well, no, because just because we have heaps of land, that land isn't settled or livable. We still have a limited infrastructure and limited housing, and it has destroyed the housing economy.
You know what you could do? You could just put them out there and tell them
to town.
Tell them to settle
have
it.
fun and live.
Go settle it, right? Do. We settled this part. You can't come in. You go settle that part.
All the good places are already taken. That's so they won't go there, Mike.
Right, but you have to keep in mind, like when people traveled across the continent before there were telephones and trains and all that stuff, they didn't know where they were going to settle, and that's why places like Texas and New Mexico and Arizona are settled, because at some point they're just like, all right, this is far enough. We're just going to build in this desert.
Let's just figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll make it work. Look, there is some of that attitude. You should look up a place called Coopapedy. Coopapedy. They build houses in the ground out of the rock because it's so hot there that they literally carve out their houses underground. And so it can be done. We already have test cases here in Australia. I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's Coopapedy.
And most of your population is East Coast too, right?
Yes. Yeah. The West Coast. I've been to the West Coast, and not much to brag about there. Like, sorry, my Western Australian people. But when I flew there, right, it's just like desert to wilderness, and it's like desert wilderness. I just like arid, unsettled, and then you hit I think it's Perth, the city, bang, city, out of nowhere, just sitting in the middle of nowhere. But the point is that the Aboriginal population was minuscule when people arrived here, right? There was so much of this land not taken that was perfectly ready for humans to benefit from, okay? And we established, pretty great country. I do love Australia. I have issues with the government, but it's a pretty great place here still. And we're lucky to have the country that we have, and we're settling this land also brought many benefits as well, like better health, better infrastructure, better housing and homes and stuff. And Aboriginal people have benefited a lot from that. I don't think they want to go back to the way they used to live. They're not choosing to. Shock horror, because it turns out modern living and lifestyles has certain benefits and privileges associated with it. Shocking.
It kind of astonishes me how many people, like in South America and Africa, some of the Aboriginals there, freaking Mongolians, they still live basically caveman lifestyles in 2025. It's like their lifestyles haven't changed in thousands of years, and it's like
the thing is, though, there is this non-intervention kind of thing, which doesn't like, because I know of these. There are some native tribes in the Amazon that still live completely tribal, but there's been cases where they see like these villages that have the beginning of modern luxuries and stuff that are along the river, and they go there and they start stealing things, like they start stealing clothes and cooking utensils because they're really useful, right? And then they create a dialogue, and they start to introduce these tribal people to the modern world, and they start to communicate with them. And you know what they say? These tribes that are living tribally is like, they like it. They say, I really like clothes. Clothes are great. They keep you warm. I don't want to go around naked anymore. And they want to live in the modern world. And so this whole thing that, they prefer the tribal lifestyle because it's more in tune with nature. No. It's because they haven't known anything better. That's why. Okay. And when they do, across the board, they're like, this is really good. Look, I'm not saying this was a good practice that the British did, but I'm saying it says something. Okay. You know what they would do sometimes when they would come to like a native population? So the British, sailors, settlers, who would, exploring the world, right? Sometimes they would
rape them.
No, they would kidnap 2 people from the tribe, take them to their ships or where they're living, and treat them like kings. Show them all this great food, all this, modern luxuries, warm clothing, and stuff like that. And then they'd send them back, and they'll go back and say, "These people have awesome stuff. Let them." Teach us their ways, right? And
then they'd drape them.
No, but that tactic actually ended up working a lot. There were some horrifying tragedies sometimes as a result of it, because they do kidnap it. But for the most part, it actually worked, because they would show just, this is the modern world. Do you want to be part of it? And a lot of these native people would be like, hell yes. Because when they're showing something like the luxuries and benefits of modern life, like, the amount of infant mortality in these tribal communities is horrifying. It's horrifying. One of the practices that Aboriginal tribes would do when they couldn't sustain one of their newborn children, right? Because they're nomadic people. Well, originally, they were nomadic people, right? They would just leave these newborns out in the open
to the dingoes
and just leave and let them starve to death or succumb to hypothermia.
That's so Greek.
It's horrifying, right? But that was a common practice that Aboriginals would do because they couldn't sustain them. They didn't have medical technology or the ability to produce larger amounts of food and things like that. And this whole idea that this primitive way of life is more noble or enlightened. It's like no. And there are horrifying things that are associated with that lifestyle. That when they were given the option of that versus the modern conveniences. Like the fact that they didn't have to leave their infants to die, right? They kind of gravitate towards that. It's like, there's some benefits. Modern medicine has some remarkable things to preserving life, right?
Weird. Huh?
Weird, right? We have gotten a bit off topic. We'll get back on.
Wait, we had a topic?
Yeah, we have a topic.
Yeah. Snorlax.
Typecasted into those as well. Oh man, this is crazy. So the thing is, I think this is hilarious. He wants roles that are more prominent because he is a prominent figure in the voice acting community, right? So he said that he probably wants characters that looks more like him. Maybe they should make Asian-related movies or TV shows, right? But most recently, people are like, I do sort of know this guy. Where is he from? He actually voices Abby or Abs from the Soulja Boys.
There we go.
But there he is. Okay, is that him?
Doesn't look like him.
Doesn't look anything like him.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah,
but
pink
he's Asian.
hair.
I bet because he's Asian, that's all it takes, I guess.
Was it close enough?
Close enough.
Most popular show or TV or movie actually ever to be streamed on Netflix. K-pop Demon Hunters, one of the most watched.
I know it's popular. I didn't know it was that popular. I'm not even sure. But
it's insanely popular.
Wow. I want to watch it. I've heard good things, but at the same time, I need to watch it because of how much reach this thing is getting. It seems to be taking off.
On Netflix ever. He voices Abby. Now here's the thing. He is Asian, but Abby has big eyes. He is not fat, nor is he ugly. I don't think that he can relate to that at all. But why are we talking about hypocrisy? So earlier today, was it earlier today? No, it was yesterday. He tweeted or posted, I voice Orville Park in Dana Terrace and Glitch Pod's upcoming animated show Knights of is it Guinevere? I don't know how to say that.
Guinevere.
Say that word. I'm dumb. Give me a math problem. I will solve that for you right now. The animation.
It's just from Arthurian tales, Guinevere, But that's the only reason why I pronounce it, honestly.
Was that guy actually Asian? Is this character Asian?
I don't think so.
It didn't look Asian.
No, he doesn't look Asian at all.
Look at those big eyes, as you
Yeah.
said.
Looks
I know, that was-
absolutely gorgeous.
I
What was
was
that,
just going to say that was props for you. You actually got to pronounce a name right.
I did. I know it's rare. It doesn't happen a lot.
I hope to welcome all you to the Park Planet. You'll have a grand old time. Now, here's the thing. I'm not sure if this character is Asian, but he is fat. So he is probably
But he is
typecast.
fat.
The thing is, people are bringing this back is because this guy wanted more authentic typecasting. I'm not sure if Park can be a Korean last name, but I'm not sure. But the thing is, this guy got very, very much roasted on his social media, and I actually responded.
He left. Too.
Yeah. There's your tweet there. There's, woof. That one's spicy there, Phil.
I said, man, people like you makes me think that we should bring back Asian hate. I'm not sure if he likes that because if you actually go
Bring back the old trends.
Oh, right over here. If you go to it, I'm actually blocked. I was
He's
blocked.
blocked
This
him.
is crazy. I was blocked, man. Hey, Madam Sabby over here. Aren't you the blow up pool boy? Who said that you have to look like the character you voice? Yeah, true. Epic Mike right over here says, damn. Fuck over a ton of voice actors screaming about race, then do the same shit you criticize them for. 100%.
Yeah, like isn't he robbing a voice actor that is of the same race as the one is he robbing that person's of their opportunity?
Obviously.
What do you admit?
He is the fat, tall Asian version of Peter Dinklage. Remember, Peter Dinklage didn't want Hollywood to portray any little people.
Yeah, it was so problematic that there was going to be dwarves as mythical creatures in Snow White, and he's like, it's so problematic that dwarves always, have to play these mythical little people in fantasy.
You said like they were. Oh yeah, the story of Snow White where the dwarves are savages and they eat like weird stuff. And he's like, that's not how the dwarves are portrayed in Snow White. Not Disney Snow White.
Or short midgets is because it's actually considered, I don't know, bigotry or whatever. I don't know what it is. And then he gets all the parts just because he's an Emmy winning actor, whatever you want to call it, right? But I guess I was the sole reason for his most recent post. So I'm gonna pull this up right over here.
One of the reasons.
Top part, but I'm just gonna read it. Hey all, this will be my last.
So this is the tweet we read, so I'll quickly skip through this.
Tweet. In the past, I've expressed or have been a positive change. It's coming around to bite you in the asshole.
Okay, because this
you have posted. It's your
all right. I want to hear Phil's
change.
commentary. So here we
and like, hey man, who eat all of the dumpling in the freaking buffet? Right? I think it's important for all actors to be given equal opportunity. And I think there have been a positive change on that front. A lot of bad faith arguers have tried to paint this as me saying things I've never said. You don't have to say it. It's your other things, your posts and Twitter posts that you have posted from a long time ago. It's coming around to bite you in the asshole. All right. I have been reluctant to address this for years because I know a lot of these people will not listen to reason, no matter what I say, and not what I wanted to add to this ongoing drama. Twitter especially is a cesspool for hatred, and it's been awful these past few years. But I think it's important for people to know that this has been happening. This is the last time I'll comment on any of this. Goodbye, Twitter. You truly suck.
What have you done, Phil?
He screenshotted me.
Yep, there it is.
Oh man, this is probably the best day of my life.
So look, I think the internet overall is far too nasty, right? But at the same time, I understand the reasons why, and I've copped probably vastly more hate than this, pro ZD guy has ever gotten on Twitter. And you just, deal with it. All right. You don't have to quit, but I get that. Look, if you don't want to deal with it, that is the thing to do. Just leave. We'll see if he sticks to it. No, we'll see if this guy actually is genuine about it. Okay. part of it is like when you say something really, really dumb, people are obviously going to roast you for it. Okay, like what I said about Studio Ghibli. It happens.
I'm glad you admitted how dumb that was.
Might have been dumb, but it was still correct.
So far, I think this is freaking hilarious. And hey, I made ProZD leave Twitter. Me and amongst the other very fine gentlemen in his comments have made him leave. But hey, the fact that I was he screenshotted me right over here. Man, he is a hose mad or chose mad kind of situation. This makes me very happy. I hate hypocrites. I hate people who are who say something and do something else, or say something else is because of that. If you want better, authentic casting, this is what you're gonna get. And I think that yeah, I said that way. It makes me think that we should bring back Asian hate. I just think this is freaking hilarious, man. But yeah, this guy, he probably doesn't even know who the fuck I am. But I think
he thinks you're a racist. He probably doesn't even know he's Asian, by the way. He probably thought this was genuine racism.
The good thing is that we're calling him out. I'm not sure if he's ever going to be coming back.
Asians versus Asians is genuine racism. There's so
no.
Asians hate each other in Asia. I hate to break it to you, but we all hate each other over there.
I hate the over exaggeration of racism to the point where it means nothing now. Racism, okay, means truly believing person of X race is inferior because of their race, or disliking someone for their race. That's racism, okay? Jokes that point fun at things in an ironic way.
I know.
That's not
legitimately,
racist, you know?
dude. Freaking Asians are super racist against each other.
But they don't actually think Asians are inferior. They just have an issue with other Asian people.
Especially Japanese. Bro, I'm Japanese. Trust me, Japanese people think all the other Asian races are inferior. We as a master race.
Okay. See, I was going that they don't think they themselves are inferior.
No. Everyone else.
But in terms of thinking that they're superior, well, Japan has a history going back. Like, it was pretty strong in World War II, where they were they were racial supremacists massively.
Exactly.
You should see some of the rhetoric going around that in World War II. They go. That's why they got along with certain philosophies and ideologies that were coming out of Germany. Yeah. So that I could believe in some instances. I don't think everyone is, but that's my point. Is that actual racism, right, has almost been forgotten. What the actual definition is, right? Like meeting someone and disliking them just because they're of X race. That is racist. That's awful. Bad, right? But like racial stereotypes, understanding that they don't apply to everyone, but thinking like, have you driven in Asia? And also jokes and things like that, right? And that's what I mean. Like Phil is Asian, which is why he gets the Asian pass to say that thing. Like he isn't actually being racist in the sense that he thinks Asian people are bad in that comment, right? He's making an ironic, comedic kind of roast of the guy, using race as a component of it. But you don't have to be that smart to see that this is like done in jest and humor, right? It's not like Phil is not advocating for people to hate him because he's Asian when he says that. It's a joke. But everything's racist now. Even on the smallest thing, right?
To Twitter, it's because this is where the watering hole is. Everyone comes here. All the discussions and everything is happening on Twitter. He probably won't post anything. He probably will still use it. Is because a lot of things happen on Twitter. A lot of news happen on Twitter. But anyways, I just thought that I would make a video talking about this. Is because Cho's mad. Sung Won Cho ProZD. Took a screenshot of the perfectly laid out statement that I put out on his previous post.
So it really does give vibes of, oh no.
Perfectly reasonable response. I don't know why I got mad at
that. But people are roasting him because he seems a bit hypocritical in this instance, And I don't think it's that hard to get ahead of something like that. But he, like, one of his responses was that he was kind of doubling down on, whereas like, I stand by everything I said about this or that. Whereas like, you know, maybe you could see the error of your previous philosophy, the contradiction in it, that maybe advocating that you're all voice actors, and I don't even know if he's advocated all, but he certainly seems to have advocated that there should be more like push towards certain people of certain races and ethnicities playing the roles of that seems to be what he has encouraged. And now when it's not working out, there's a sense of hypocrisy that people are pointing out, and he can't handle it too well. Well, we have some other topics we might be able to get to because we have a bit of time, but also we've got some super chats to catch up on. And so, okay, so Marty for Life for 49 says their morality always happens to help them out personally, just like Jinx just saying Mystique. Oh yes, we got that one. Should be trans and then told her agent to contact Marvel. Did you guys see that tweet? It's,
Which one?
So I believe they're referring to this one here. So Jinx Monsoon wants Marvel Studios to cast a trans woman as Mystique.
Why?
Wow. Jinx
Why
Monsoon,
exactly?
Well, I'm not sure. If you were to look at this person here, what would you? What type of gender would you assume? Looking at this person here,
Well, it's
I
either
have
like
a feeling that person's a man.
On the left, it's either a man or Meryl Streep and a lot of makeup.
Why?
Be either or.
I'm still stuck on why.
Again, this makes no sense. At least the
No.
Hunter Schafer thing was like, okay, they're like dressed up as an elf with elf ears. This was like clearly a dude in a wig.
Yeah,
and it's like,
but
okay, on the right here is this a totally different person.
Yeah, but you know why they try and push it? Because Mystique is transcoded because she can change into a man at will. That's why. So therefore, it's a trans character, and therefore should be played by a trans. That's it.
That's kind of funny because like even if she turns into a man, she's not one.
No, she's not. But the thing is, though, her powers, I think,
But that doesn't make sense because she's female turning into a man.
Yes.
Why would you want a man just as a female turning into a man?
You're correct, Mike. This doesn't make sense, but the trans community, the activists amongst them especially, are so keen to latch onto any character or property that could be interpreted or lends itself more easily to being misrepresented, to being trans positive or trans representative. They do it with Ranma half
it's
all the time. So Ranma 1/2 is a male character that is cursed to turn into a girl when splashed with cold water, and only hot water turns him back into a dude. And he hates it. He hates the curse. He's a masculine dude. But oh boy, do activists latch onto that to say Ranma 1/2 is trans positive. And I did a whole video on Night's Watch right here. You can check it out, saying that is bullcrap. In actual fact, Ranma 1/2 is quite anti that philosophy. In a lot, it's all throughout. That like Ranma hates his curse and wants to be rid of it. He does not want to transition. Oh my gosh. So yeah, that's just that's the thing that the super chat is referring to. That's just another instance of the insanity in the world. Wolfsbane for $5 says, if you want to hear one of ProZD's worst voice acting shows, look up Huang from Soul Calibur 6. Yes, we got that one. Thank you, sir. Okay, so Steel Manning 2 for $4.99 says, haven't been around in a while, so I'm sorry if you've tried to, if you're tired of answering this. How is book 2 of Everfall coming? There's been updates on that. So book 1 of Chronicles of Everfall was written as a standalone with sequel potential. And because of that, I'm happy for it to stand on its own for a while because it has a very complete arc. And I'm happy to leave that while I've been working on a new series. And I ultimately do intend to write the sequels at some point in the future. It's just not urgent for me because the story wasn't structured to be like that. And it gives me an opportunity to work on something else, which I'm really excited for. And the book is coming along. 210,000 words and counting so far, and I'm very excited to bring it to you. But thank you for the super chat.
It's only chapter 1.
Yeah. Did I send you, or did you get the message I sent today
On Discord? I
Yeah.
only glanced at it briefly.
Okay.
But we can talk about that a little later. David Morrison, 7179 for $10 says, an Irishman was granted 3 wishes. First, he asked for a bottle of whiskey. Second, he wished that it would never be empty. When asked for his third, he said, this is great. Can I have another one of these?
That's a Dave Allen at large joke. It's a
love it.
great
That's a
bit,
great one. Oh, that combines them both. That combines both the things, stereotypes of Irishmen.
The longer version of the joke is he's drunk by the time he's making his third wish, and the guy goes, you still have a third wish. And he goes, or you still have 2 more wishes. And he goes, 2 more wishes? I'll take 2 more of these.
I'll take 2 more of them. Bloody. Rock Bob, $5 says, hey, Shad, did you have a video on having childlike wonder as an adult? You have a huge video catalog. I can't find it. Thanks for all that you do. I might have mentioned stuff like that because that is kind of something that, I ponder on, is like keeping the, childlike appreciation and fun in things. But I don't think I have a dedicated video on it. Maybe I touched on it in my He-Man video. That could be something. But not that I can remember. But thank you for the super chat. David Peterson, 1975, $2 says, I suggest you read the Truly Tasteless Jokes book.
Oh, man. Those were these little coffee table books from the 80s.
Yeah.
I was a kid, and I read one of those jokes out loud during a party, and my dad got so mad. Because I didn't even understand what the joke meant.
Oh, no.
It was about Helen Keller.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. But Axie042, $5 says, this Prozedy doesn't realize, I think, that actors do not make the demand for roles the studios do. Yes. And if the studios are smart, they'd listen to the audience as well. Taker 610 for $5 says, have you guys heard of lawsuits by some Asian guy against self-driving systems because the cameras that watch your eyes don't work on them?
No.
I hope that's not true. That's not a real lawsuit, is it? The problem is the world is crazy enough it could be. So I just don't know. I don't know.
You don't work on them.
Oh my gosh. What is the world?
Really, a really funny lawsuit. It really would be.
Yeah. This has been all over Twitter. I constantly. And I'm only sharing it because it's been pushed so much that, because ultimately I don't give a crap. But have you guys seen this? People are like, what's going on with The Rock? And I'm like, he's off the juice. That's what's going on.
Sounds like.
Like I say, he's lost so much muscle mass. Do you know how much of that muscle mass is like probably fluids and just getting like pumped in? Like a lot of bodybuilding muscle mass isn't like muscular strength. And like the way the Rock inflated himself to be, you need a lot of chemical enhancements. Is allegedly, okay. But people like saying, "Holy crap, it's changed." Now he's getting old. I can understand it's probably hard to maintain all that, juicing, allegedly, right? But is this a sign that The Rock's career might be, getting sunsetted? Like he might not be taking as many Macho Man roles. And look, they don't last forever, so it doesn't surprise me.
He's getting ready to run for president.
And look, I never thought The Rock was like the best thing. He tried to be the next Arnold Schwarzenegger. He never reached it. Okay. And I don't think I don't hate the guy, but I don't think, oh, it's a Rock movie, I got to go watch that. Never thought that, What do you think is The Rock's best role, that is portrayed.
Scorpion King was pretty awesome.
Oh, come on.
What was the most iconic role?
So there is a movie, like I remember enjoying it, but I don't think it was great. It's got a different title here in Australia. In Australia, it's called Welcome to the Jungle, but I think the American title is like The Rundown or something like that. Do you guys remember that? I don't know.
I remember it. I didn't see it.
Yeah, like I don't care much about The Rock. Like I don't hate him, don't love him. Like he was fun in the Jumanji
Hey,
films.
Mr. Philip Chan is in the chat.
Hey, dude, where is he? There he is.
Yeah.
There you go.
Very amusing video. I liked it.
It was hilarious. You're a funny man, Phil. I love you. Appreciate you, dude. Good to see you, mate. And hey, message me. You're welcome to join us at any stream in the future, dude. Love to have you on. All right. So, meh. That's my reaction to the Rock stuff. Meh. I like. So, all right. You know, are we going to see him in less muscular action hero roles? I never really cared about him to begin with. I didn't hate him, but I don't. I'm like, you know, well, whatever. But people are just, I don't know. They're shocked that he's lost so much muscle mass, and I don't find that shocking because it's hard to maintain that size. It's not just like, you know,
Moana. That's his best role.
Maui. I was thinking
in Moana.
I was thinking of Maui, but it's like it's not a live action role. Does it count? You know?
Why?
I don't know. It's like it's the animation's doing all the.
Maui was awesome. I saw him. I didn't really like Moana that much, but Maui. I really wanted to see like a movie about Maui and Hercules, like kind of teaming up and going on super adventures.
Did you see the Rock's Hercules film? Because that was bad.
Oh, that was weird because it was like, okay, Hercules is good. He's like a scammer, and he's like pretends to be awesome.
But then he is like superhuman at the end, and they can't make up their mind. It's just a, and the movie's just bad. The movie's crap. Like,
I forgot all about that movie.
That did annoy me that it was a scam. Like, I was hoping like that one had potential. Like, if he actually was the real Hercules, right? Nah. No, so
even back then, I was like, this feels like another attempt to tear down heroes. Like, oh, it looks Hercules is a scammer. He's actually just tricking everybody to think he's awesome. I prefer Kevin Sorbo. Give me Kevin Sorbo instead. That guy was a much better Hercules.
Yeah, he was. Here's an interesting thing that I saw float on Twitter this morning. He says so hang on. I want to check one thing. We'll come back to this. But all right, so the background of what was going on there is I'll bring it back up. It's a convention, okay? And you know Artist Alley?
Mm-hmm.
So they called the cops on a guy selling AI art at DragonCon.
Take him down. Deport him.
Now, what I find funny, right, depending on what he's selling, might be more legal than what most of the artists are doing on Artist Alley. Because if they're selling fan art, they are actually breaking copyright law.
Hey,
like we've covered,
they sell that,
yeah, we covered that on the channel, right? And no, you can go back and watch some of our videos where we go into details explaining this. Fan art is technically illegal unless you have a license to it, and especially selling it. But even I'm against that legal thing, right? I think fan art should be completely legal. Everyone should be entitled to doing it. But no, according to the black and white laws of copyright, just creating a derivative work of a copyrighted material. And a derivative work is like the design of a character. Think of Wolverine. Wolverine has a very specific, iconic design that is locked into what that is under copyright. So if you use that design, draw that character in any new pose, it doesn't matter if it's a new pose, new image, or whatever, it is considered a derivative work. And under copyright law, only the person who has the sole right to create derivative works is the copyright owner. That's the law of copyright. And you're only allowed to make derivative works if you have a license from the copyright owner. Fan art are derivative works. Okay?
I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm just going to keep drawing this picture.
Exactly. Mike's like, what are you? Oh, yeah, this is all right. Now, of course, no copyright owner enforces this. Okay?
Except that Marvel enforced it on the freaking creator of Ghost Rider.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Because the creator of Ghost Rider was making hay about not getting royalties from Ghost Rider, right? And then they pulled they just dropped the law on him, and they're like, "You've been making a living off of this character that you don't own for like 40 years." So they like dropped the hammer on him because Marvel is a-hole.
Well, here's the thing. Just because they don't enforce it doesn't mean they can't, and they haven't in the past. They have. Like Mike just shared an example. They could enforce it at any time if they wanted and take an artist completely to task. That would be, I feel, stupid to do it. They've done in the past. And if they tried to stop fans from making fan art, they'd shoot themselves in the foot, because fan art literally promotes your copyrighted work. That's the whole point about fan art. It's promotion and appreciation. And so you want to kill, your fan movements. Like, yeah, go after people making fan art. But if you really want to go under the laws of copyright, that's the reality. Now, the hypocrisy when it comes to AI art is that they accuse AI art generative tools of breaking copyright because it was trained off of copyrighted material. I've covered that ad nauseum in multiple videos and been proven right because people are taken to court, and it came out that, and this was with large language model generators being trained off of copyrighted literary works. It was ruled that training AI models off of copyrighted material is a transformative use of that material. That's already been, and more of those like rulings will come out as a result as it's going through court. As I called that years ago. This is 100% transformative use of copyrighted work covered in the law. They're not breaking copyright according to transformative use. So even though they accuse it of breaking copyright, it's actually not. And the hypocrisy is that artists, like, they care about copyright when it's convenient to them, it seems like, even though they misrepresent it as not breaking copyright. And then they go and break copyright all the time by making fan art. And if someone is selling the AI images, well, it's theft. And they get them, they call the cops on the guy for selling it. Now,
who was it? Did they say who the artist was?
Let me jump to the article, because this is Neon from Clownfish TV. Love Clownfish TV. He links the article. This is the article here. Police called on artists accused of selling AI art at DragonCon. It doesn't seem they say who it was. But the police? Well, under like what grounds are they calling the police? Like, was it in breach of the con's rules? That's the question.
I'm sure it was. I guarantee Dragon has a anti-AI rules.
Okay, so a vendor exhibiting under the name of Oriana Guerrez. That's the name of the person. At DragonCon in Atlanta this week, at booth A10, was asked to pack their table with police present. So, all right, wasn't arrested. The police just forcing him to pack up, right? After they were accused of selling AI artworks as if they were their own. Whoa, hang on. As if they are their own. They can sell it as it's their own if they're the ones who generated it. It is theirs. They own it, okay? But if they're presenting it as being hand-drawn and that they hand-drew it, that's where it's scummy and dishonest, and people should be called out. Saying that you hand-drew an AI work, no. Now, if you had hand-drawn components a part of it, that's another different, because you can actually use AI in a hybrid, the way I use it, a hybrid use, where I hand-draw the outline or the pose or the initial character and then use AI to enhance and color it, all right? There's more nuance and complexity to that. And I think if an artist is legitimately drawing the initial pose and using AI to either enhance or color it, they can absolutely say that they hand drew it, because they did, right? But then they could even say they digitally colored it, technically, because AI is a digital technology, and so they could say AI coloring is digital coloring. Fellow vendor at DragonCon, Dane of Monkey Minion, a particular favorite of Bleeding Cool, blah, 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 posted on this after showing day after day, shared here with permission. So, I mean, the hate and bias for AI art is entrenched amongst many artists. Okay, they shared with permission. I want to know if it was against the con's rules. While their social media did not seem too apologetic, I'd share a screenshot for my sales this week. I don't have any good explanation to you losers. You guys are sore because I don't sell crap and will be forever broke. I have fun being broke. Okay, so that sounds like the guy that was kicked out.
Yes. That's pretty funny. It's like this. He's
So
just
he's
very bitter.
Because it seems like he outsold them by a lot.
It basically is like, yeah, just the AI generated looks pretty good. People are just buying it.
AI art can look great, right? Can look really great.
And you'll always be broke and starving. I do like the attitude. It's pretty funny. It's a very bad guy attitude.
Yeah.
It's a very like, oh, like just doesn't care. Two-dimensional bad guy attitude. You're gonna be broke, bitches. Yeah.
Well, this is interesting because the website includes artwork that certainly doesn't seem to be AI generated. Well, here's the thing: like AI images are getting so good that people are unable to tell the difference. Like, I have some examples that I'm testing out, and like you can avoid or correct the distortions and the artifacts quite easily. And the more recent ones doesn't have that AI kind of sheen look, which I never hated. I just thought it was a sign of the style. But so many real artworks are being misidentified as AI now because people just can't tell. Again, these are accusations, and there doesn't seem to be some disconnect, and there does seem to be some disconnect between the website and the work on display. DragonCon, all right, here's it. DragonCon doesn't seem to have a clear AI policy on its website.
Oh, that's surprising.
So then on what grounds was the police called and made it and kicked out this guy?
That's what I was assuming, that there has to be some policy that they had where you're not allowed to have AI. That's what it would have to be.
That would,
well, I don't care about AI art. I mean, I like AI art and for its uses, but at a convention, especially like DragonCon has a very limited artist alley space, and it's procured. So it's like you have to be, it's hard to get into DragonCon as an artist. So that someone would get in there on the idea that they're the artist, and then they're coming in and trying to sell AI art. That's,
I mean, if there was deception to get, I agree, kick him out then. But if not, like, I don't know, because if DragonCon didn't say you have to disclose if you use AI, and the thing is, like,
well, that's what I'm saying.
Ambiguity.
If someone had brought in AI art, and when they were applying to get into DragonCon and they knew it was AI art, there's no freaking way they would have let him in. They are very, I mean, like I said, it's a very competitive space just to get into DragonCon as an artist for Artist Alley.
So I'm looking up this guy. His name is Oriana Garez, and it looks like he has a website. All right. And there seems to be ambiguity if this is even AI or not. So this looks like, I think this is Oriana Garez art.
Yeah, that's not AI.
Yeah, it doesn't look AI. Like, it looks very, painted. But people are saying that what he was selling at the con did not look like this.
So that's probably the bait and switch. He probably applied with his real artwork. And then what you want to do when you're at a con is you want to have something for every single pop culture, everything. And that's how you sell a bunch of stuff, right? You want to, if you don't want somebody coming to your table and saying, hey, do you have a Darth Vader? And then you say no, and they go to the next guy, because they don't care about you, they care about Darth Vader, right? So that's kind of the way people sell, like doing the print walls and that kind of stuff at conventions. So this guy, I mean, he's painting everything by hand. So he's probably taking so long in each piece that he wouldn't have time to do all the different characters. And if he's selling like he's bragging about, it's probably because he's squirting out 50 different pieces a day on AI.
What if he trained a model based on his actual artworks to duplicate the style? Like, I have no problem with that at all. But people have this hate, unhinged thing for anything AI, no matter what, that they don't even acknowledge the variant ways you can use it and complementary ways. Like, if he was selling AI, Was it complete AI images? Was it trained off of InStyle? Was it a hybrid assisted AI art piece where it has many like hand done components and finished off with AI? There are so many questions about this that I think could justify or validate him being there and still like, got selling traditional enough art, right? That I don't think he should have been kicked out. But if he got in there like deceptively, then I can say, okay, there is an issue here. But the policy, what is Dragon's Con's policy on AI? Because Mike, I mean, you have a point that it seems like Dragon Con would be anti-AI, but then why wouldn't they have a policy on it? So they said last year, Sanderson's cover for the novel Goblin Market was a 2024 Dragons Award finalist in the Best Illustrative Book Cover category. But about 5 minutes after the ballot was listed and people pointed it out it was AI, it was gone. They took it off. What?
It was a contest.
So what are your feelings about AI art being included in contests?
If you want to include something that's AI in an art contest, go do an AI art contest.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. I think you should have a category for best AI art and a category for best traditional art. Yeah.
I think that's segregation would be pretty.
No trans art.
Use segregation. It's a useful tool.
In this instance.
There you go.
Okay, so Dragon Con co-chair David Cody stated, at the time, we recognize the AI art is a new tool with enormous potential. Okay, that's a fair statement. And society will eventually come to a consensus about how it should be used. What will happen is that there not necessarily won't be a consensus. I think a lot of the people hate AI. They are so entrenched in it that they'll never be convinced otherwise. What will happen is that the generation that hates it will pass away and the new generation will be brought up in this new environment where it's just a regular constant thing. And that's almost like what it takes, like 20 years usually it takes for the old generation. Like that's what it seems to take for Photoshop and digital art to just be, become a norm, an accepted thing. But as to a consensus on how it should be used, I don't think people are going to use it however the hell they want, right? And they're not going to need people's permission or want it or need it. So in that sense, I don't think a consensus will ever be made. People are just going to use it. Consensus on how it should be used and how much content can be created using AI while still crediting a human for the work. That's an interesting part, right? Because people argue a lot about my AI art images because I have so much human, input. I actually am drawing poses and constantly making manual edits and illustrative adjustments. And I've got videos showing my process all throughout that. And people they debate as to how much is human, how much is AI. And a lot of people seem to be coming around that they think the way that I use AI, a lot of people say that's valid, fair, that's how it should be used, they say. But other people don't, But then he says, at which time we will consider changing our policy. But you don't have a visible policy on this. What is your policy? It seems that a policy that they don't spell out is that they have a no AI anything. Is that what it is? Until then, however, we want the Dragon Awards to offer fans an opportunity to recognize the humans who create work that fans love. It's simple. Just do both. An AI category and a human handmade category. That's it. It's not that hard. But that's an interesting article or thing that happened recently.
I'll tell you what irritates me.
Yeah.
When I was doing conventions, my buddy Oli was I kind of gave him my side gig of I had other artists that I would sell their prints at cons and give them 50%. And then eventually I had enough prints. I'm like, you know what, Oli, why don't you just take my other artists? And then he started doing it. And then he started working with this artist named John Gallagher. John Gallagher, he's a professional artist. He works for like Warner Brothers and all these things. But what John does is photo bashing. And so, yeah, so he'd take like toys and like create environments where he'd take cities and blah, blah. And he'd do these great images, but it drove me freaking nuts because he would sell the snot out of these things because the fans, and this is the difference between like a comic art fan and like the Flash fan or the Transformers fan, right? The guys that are coming in and they've never picked up a comic book. They don't care about art at all. They just come in and they, like I said, they come up to the table and they want a Darth Vader. If you don't have a Darth Vader, they'll move on. And they see this guy and it's like, damn, this is a quote unquote original piece of Darth Vader no one's ever seen before because it's photo bashed. And for those of you who don't know what photo bashing is, it's just taking different images and
different
like
parts of
them.
pictures, yeah,
right, and
combining,
making
collaging them together.
Right, and he would sell the ever living crap out of these things, and it just ate me up inside because I'd share booth space with him, and I'm like, these people aren't comic book fans. These people don't care about art. They just care about the characters, and I got that. But
can I also point out, right?
Got under my skin.
Well, here's the thing, because like photo bashing, right? Like that is actually taking other people's images and artworks directly, actually taking those images, right, and combining them and rearranging them, and that's like a far more egregious kind of use of other people's artwork.
Well, no, he would buy the toys.
Yeah.
Like he'd buy the Venom sculpt and he'd take.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like he didn't draw them. He's taking the image of something else, right?
Right.
And reappropriating it. And that's a far more egregious kind of, way to make an image than an AI image generator does. Like an AI image generator is trained off of pre-existing images, and then it creates new images based on a human's direction and input. And that can vary as to how much. Some, just a basic prompt, nothing real special. Others spend hours refining, rearranging, remaking, illustrating new parts, and actually, drawing the initial poses and everything, right? And that has far more human artistic input than photo bashing. But it seems like there's a big disconnect where people are like, photo bashing fine, AI art evil no matter what, and there's no room.
Well, no, I get the feeling the people who are going to buy the photo bash stuff are the same people who are going to buy the AI art because they don't care about the artist.
Maybe, I'm not sure. I think a lot of the AI haters will still think photo bashing as a more legitimate artistic creation than AI. That's how much deep down the rabbit hole they are. And so
I'm just telling you why it's irritating.
Oh yeah, I get what you're saying. This is one that I was pretty happy with, that I thought was pretty cool. So this is one of my own works, right? And so I took the initial She-Ra, picture from the cartoon and used AI to enhance it. And it took a lot of work. Like, it's not an easy thing. It's not just like a simple click, one done. This takes a lot of work to convert it and then enhance it to that level. And a lot of illustrative manual work as well. But the results I freaking loved. I love the results. I think they look great. And I did it for the joy of it. I did it for fun. I thought, take something from my childhood nostalgia and then depict it in almost. It's like not live action, but it's close kind of thing. And I just like, that's fun. It's so much fun doing that. The He-Man one I was pretty happy with as well. There's my He-Man. So this, because I was a bigger He-Man fan as a kid than She-Ra. But the He-Man movie, The Secret of the Sword, where He-Man meets She-Ra, I had that on repeat as a kid. I loved that cartoon. And I just find that so much fun. Converting the sword, that was a dog. Because I wanted the sword to be more accurate to the cartoon, where the She-Ra one, I was happy to change it a bit. But this one, I wanted it to be more like it, and so that one was that one took work to maintain it accurately. It's just fun, man. People get better out of shape for people having fun with AI.
It is really fun messing with AI. It's a lot of fun.
It is like we already showed you images of the fairy tale princesses and what kind of political ideology they had. That was, you can do fun things with it, right?
Okay, but
And
just to get back to the topic though, it might be fun, but like in a scenario again where you're in a high competition space for real artists, to have someone come in there with things that took him an hour, let's just give him the benefit of the doubt and say it took him an hour to make an AI image. And so he's got 500 different prints, where you have these other people who slaved away, sometimes taking days or even weeks for each freaking print that they do. It's the competition of space. This is not the free market of, like everything being equal. This isn't the freaking flea market. This is a very high competition art space.
So it depends on the purpose of that space. This is kind of my take on it. If the space is specifically meant to only showcase handmade human artists, I'm kind of on board.
Yeah, that's why it's called Artist Alley.
But if the purpose is to sell good quality images, art that people want to buy, I think competition, people demand should determine accessibility, like who gets the space there in that sense. Like I said, it would depend on where it's at, because if there ends up being a higher market demand for AI images because they look awesome, I won't fault people wanting to purchase, the images that they like and, that's available to them. I think people are entitled to buy what they want and what, they find enjoyment in. And some people only prefer getting that from human artists. Mike is a human artist. Check out what he's making. It looks friggin' amazing. And I've worked with Mike. I hired Mike, and I'll work with him in the future because I love his work and talent. And that's the thing, because I appreciate both.
Yeah, I just sincerely think they frauded their way into there, because I know
Possibly.
DragonCon, and I know
if they did,
approved an AI artist.
Well, if they got in through deception and fraud, then they deserve to be kicked out. But if not, right, then I think there's an issue there. We didn't get enough information to know that, honestly, because this could be a case of an actual human artist that was only using some amount of AI, tools in the process. And I like that one. I'm on more on the fence on then, because does he deserve to have a place in there? Well, then it would depend on the policy of DragonCon. Didn't seem like they were fully clear about that. But if they were clear and then he got in, and if their policy is no AI anything, not even allowed to use it as touch-ups or to upscale your images, which is a pretty extreme hardline stance, honestly. That's their policy. They need to be clear about it. Okay. And then if they were clear about it and someone got in through deception, yeah, I agree. Neon's take here, I agree with him. He says 99, we covered this really. 99% of Artist Alley is technically stolen corporate IP. And he says, I'm just saying, you really can't take the moral high ground if your business is selling unauthorized prints of characters you do not own.
Well, that's another thing. Not everybody in Artist Alley. I mean, Artist Alley wasn't designed for people selling prints. It's designed for artists selling their original art.
Their original art.
Prints became kind of a big thing in the last few years.
Well,
probably the last decade. It wasn't that big a deal until about a decade ago. And then bringing a bunch of
what sells more? Prints of popular IPs. And so
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Is it used to be Artist Alley. Artists would bring original art, and then maybe they'd have one print for that show, and then about 10, 12 years ago or something, it started becoming this print wall extra. And I'm guilty. I did it too, because that's how I saw a friend at a con, I don't fault. What are you doing here? And he's like, oh, I make a living doing these cons.
Yeah, I don't fault artists doing it. I think the copyright laws go too far in technically that you're not allowed to make fan art. I think you should be allowed to make fan art. I think fan art is great, and I think you should be able to sell it too. But the copyright law is what it is, and if artists want to appeal to copyright law with their hate for AI, well, why aren't they obeying all copyright law then? They seem to pick and choose as it's convenient.
Is this even an AI copyright law thing? Is that the argument here?
Well, they try and say AI art is theft under the grounds of copyright when it's not,
Oh.
but they appeal to it. That's what they use to discredit it and attack people who like AI. I love AI art, right? And they attack me as an immoral thief, right? And a true piece of crap because I promote it and because they think I'm promoting something that they feel is criminal and immoral. That's their grounds. And to them, in their mind, that justifies them trying to destroy my life and lie about me relentlessly, right? Because they're so unhinged about this stuff. But we have come towards the end of this wonderful stream. It has been a fun one. We got to cover a good number of things this time, which is great. And so as we start to sign off, Mike, is there anything that you wanted to mention?
Yeah, you can come to my Whatnot stream. I try to do it a couple times a week now. I'm busy doing a storyboarding gig right now, but I'll be selling this. You guys saw the one I did earlier, which is I finished this one up. So this will be available on Whatnot. It's Spider-Man versus a version of the Sinister Six. It's not necessarily
Nice. I keep saying my like your Spider-Man ones impress me. Like because you do Spider-Man good.
Thank you.
So
focus.
That's
focus. Stupid non-focusing camera. All right. Well, that and I'm on cross-examinations. I've actually been arguing with Grok. Well, not arguing, but using Grok to like prove, well, like abiogenesis is impossible. That Jesus rose from the dead. That the flood was a global historical event using certain paradigms of only logic, rational thought, scientific evidence, just a very, very reason.
Mm-hmm.
I like set up this paradigm. I'm like, I don't want anybody's theories. I don't want anybody's opinions. I just want logic, reason, and this set up the sync. And then I went through and proved a bunch of stuff that, wow, atheists get really mad in the comment section.
That I enjoy that actually, kind of taking a logical, secular approach to talk about religious topics. So that's on cross-examinations, right?
Yeah, just look up cross-examinations. Mike Miller.
Awesome.
Mike Miller.
Awesome. Hey, McSkittles, member 4 months says, remember to become a member of Shadiversity for exclusive content involving swords and sword-like objects. Thank you, McSkittles. We appreciate you, mate. Thank you for being a member. Hey, Litdev, you have something.
Oh yeah.
There's something big in the works on its way.
Got a few things. Yeah. Well, first of all, I have this AI thing I want to share that I made my own. My own Avengers. Bruce Willis.
Hey, Elon Musk is South African. He's African.
He still counts. So it's a dream team of Avengers. Henry Cavill, Captain America. Sidney Sweeney as a switching up there with the Iron Man.
So she's not Ironheart. She's
Iron Man.
She's Tanya Stark.
Well, we could go with the joke they said in Ironheart's first comic where she could be called female because Fe is iron.
Oh, hey. Yeah, you could. It stands for ferrite, which is the technical chemical name for iron. You're correct.
Also, I found this. One thing I do like is the John Wick series, but I watched the documentary they have of it called Wick is Pain. And I have a small clip from that documentary, like a few seconds long, because Keanu Reeves says something that I think that kind of encapsulates how I see art and everything, how I see creation, and it's pretty on point, I think.
When we say John Wick is pain, it's kind of like a fuck yeah.
There it is. It's like when you're indie comics where you're doing art, I think when it's like you're not it's not a mass production. You're not on the clock of like I need to put this crank out stuff. It's like when you take your time and everything. I think every single one of your works needs to be like a fuck yeah. And so I think that's pretty accurate. But so that leads me into my next thing.
Yes.
Which is my comic book coming out, hopefully launching this Saturday. So that's the plan so far. Lady Midnight Devils Dwell in Silent Springs, a cult detective comic. It's actually a detective comic where you find clues, but instead of like murder, poison, or whatever, it's like alchemical substances, curses, just revenants and stuff like that. So it's like basically think of like the Death Note, where he has like rules he has to follow and everything. So that I will explain that in the book and everything. But here's the trailer.
It began with the suicide of Charles Blackwell, then the Rhineswan family massacre. 3 generations painfully passing from this world, crying the same crimson tears Blackwell had. After that, the media finally gave their murderer a name: the Red Crier Killer. But despite it all, evil can be conquered. If you ever find yourself lost in the dark, I'll lead you home. If your heart is gripped by fear, I'll comfort you. If justice eludes you, I'll find it. So sleep well, Orb City. And while you dream, I'll keep the monsters away.
That is looking tight. Now, good voice actor as well. Where'd you find her?
Fiverr. It's on Fiverr.
Wow, good job, man. That is.
I had the option of going with AI voice, but I wanted a real voice.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, that is awesome. And that is potentially this week, right?
Yeah, this Saturday. Hopefully, we're launching this Saturday. That's the idea. Everything's done. Just gotta launch it, and hopefully get it funded, because I have so many stories to tell in this world. It's and this I spent almost 8 months in the script itself. So as Keanu Reeves, it will very much, in my view, feel like a fuck yeah. So
hell yes. Now this is the type of thing, everyone. If you're wanting some independent media, but also made by someone who truly loves, traditional storytelling, stuff like that, from what LitDev, talks about on his channel, this is the type of project that you want to support. So keep an eye out for it, and we'll definitely be showcasing that next week. So excited for you, LitDev. Really?
Yeah, I'm excited too. It's a lot of work went into this.
Yeah.
So hopefully it does. So hopefully we can get it funded. I got some cool stretch goals that I think everyone will enjoy, which includes more story, more pages and stuff. So if we can reach those two, it'd be pretty cool.
That would be awesome.
And I feel like as the artist here, the professional artist here, the art's great, and I feel like you don't have to say it because it's great, but it's just, it's free. So yeah, LitDev writing, Nick on art. That's gonna be freaking dope.
Yeah, awesome. Nick acts as the artist, and he's spent a lot of time trying to get everything just right. He's excited about this too. He really got excited about the project because he read the script and saw the ending. He's like, "Oh, this ending's awesome!" So hopefully you like it too. We can get this done. If we get this done, hopefully we can. I'll be fighting for every dollar. So I'll be willing to put in the work. So let's go. Let's get to it.
Awesome. And everyone knows where I am. And thank you for joining us here on the Culture Crusade. We hope to see you all next week. So as always, stay on watch. We'll catch you soon.